Both Real Time LUT and Fujifilm recipes have the same goal in mind, and that's to simplify the photography process so that really the process starts and finishes when you press the shutter, everything's done and there's no editing required afterwards. So while both brands have the same final goal in mind, I think the way that they go about it is vastly different. So I thought I would do a comparison video while I'm here in Osaka and later on in Tokyo with both cameras. I've got the brand new Lumix S9, which has Real Time LUT in it, and I also have the Fujifilm X100V or 5. However you want to say it. Also, I think this has to be the coolest place that I've ever filmed a video. I'm very aware that both of these cameras are very different, with very different specifications and probably different target audiences. So it's not going to be a comparison directly between the two cameras themselves, more so just the way that they edit the JPEGs and the flexibility that you have if that's something you're into. So what is a Fujifilm recipe? Well, in the Fujifilm cameras you have film simulations. A recipe is something that you can do on top of those to tweak them to your liking. It's all designed to get the film look, and Fujifilm cameras are loved and adored for this, and they do it brilliantly. There's so many ways that you can customize it, but the main goal really is to emulate film. Real-time LUT, on the other hand, you can emulate whatever the heck you want. Yes, you can get the film look, you just need to find film-like LUTs to put on your camera. You can emulate the color grading of your favorite movies if you like, and any Lightroom preset can also be converted into a LUT. So you have a wealth of options that go way beyond just emulating film. And that's what I find really exciting. I have to say, I really like the word recipe. I think it's very informal and it's a genius sort of marketing thing from Fuji where it sounds very accessible and very fun. Real-time LUT, on the other side, sounds a little bit pragmatic, a little bit techy, and it's not the best name in the world to convey what this amazing feature does. So, in order to soften the blow, I'm going to utilize the joy of puns for the rest of this video to make everyone like Real-time LUT as a name. Let's LUT on the right side. Where can we find our LUTs and recipes to put them on our cameras? When it comes to Fujifilm recipes, there is a huge community fandom around them already, so you have plenty to choose from. It's literally like reading the recipe for a meal, except you don't have to read the life story of the person before you get to the good stuff. You literally just take the recipe with all the settings and input it into the camera, and then you can save that as a custom setting. This is a little bit tedious, to be honest. You have to sort of do every step along the way and then save it, and there's no way to go off piste and customize it in an easy to understand way, because you'll have to take a test shot, go back in the menu, change something, try it, and it's a lot of trial and error involved when you come to tweaking these recipes. But having said that, it's very easy to do. There's plenty great recipes that are available to use for free. Once I had my X100, I had 2 recipes on there straight away that I absolutely loved and I could hit the ground running with. Look what I found. Fun ways to take photographs. Recipes really is an in-camera thing. It's following instructions and it isn't the most intuitive. Real-time LUT, on the other hand, there are plenty of different ways to get the LUTs on your camera. You can put them on the SD card, the old-fashioned way, but now with the introduction of the Lumix Lab app, we can do it all in the app, and it's really handy-dandy. There's a creator section where you can download LUTs from your favorite creators. There's a community section where there's lots of presets already available, and then from there, you can even tweak those in the camera on a photo or a video and see in real time, see what I did there, how you're affecting the look. And the customization doesn't stop there. You can store 39 LUTs on the Lumix S9, which is ridiculous in and of itself, in a good way. But on top of that, you also have your My Photo settings, where you can layer up 2 LUTs. So if you're thinking about it in terms of video, where you might want to do a Rec 709 conversion and then put a creative LUT on top, you can do that. You can roll off the opacity of the LUTs so that you have different intensities of your favorite LUTs, which can work very well. The options are crazily in-depth, but they're very easy to use and you can dive into them as much or as little as you like. So a beginner to this could take an S9 and have a look on the Lumix Lab app and then put a couple of LUTs on that they like the look of. That's really hard to say. Seriously, within a few seconds, they could be up and running and experimenting. Conversely, if you're a nerd like moi, and like to be a little bit more particular and have a little bit more creative control, you also have that option as well. Lots and lots and lots of options. Lots of options. Comparatively for your recipes on the Fujifilm side, you have the normal standard film simulations that are like the stocks, but then you can customize 7 So there's only 7 recipes that you can store on your camera at any one time. That's with the X105 anyway. I'm not sure if that's gone up with the 6. I don't think it has. I've tried to have a Google, but who knows. And you know, to be honest, you don't always need 39 different styles. Personally, I like to sort of go in depth with 1 or 2 and really experiment with them before I move on. So 7 isn't really a limiting factor on the Fujifilm side, but I do really like the idea that I can keep 39 in the camera, I can tweak them, and you know, I can relay them on and off with the app as well on the Lumix side. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility. You should be so lutty. Lutty, lutty, lutty. So let's just do a quick fire comparison, because while they are 2 very different cameras, as you'll see, if you are looking for an everyday carry, they may be the top 2 on your list. We have a fixed lens versus interchangeable lens. We have full frame versus APS-C. We have in-body stabilization versus none, though the X106 does. We have an electronic only shutter on the S9 versus a mechanical leaf shutter on the Fujifilm. They're both incredibly similar in size. The Lumix S9 comes in fun colors and the Fujifilm has a more classic look. And if you're looking for more of a hybrid experience, the Lumix S9 has some truly fantastic video, whereas we have more basic video features on the Fujifilm side. So as you can see, probably a slightly different audience for both, but they would both be top of my list for an everyday carry. And both have pros and cons. I've done an in-depth video of the Lumix S9, which goes into some of my thoughts and feelings in more depth, and I do have a Fujifilm review coming very soon, so stick around for that. One thing I learned at the Lumix Global Summit is you shouldn't say Lumix LUT with my accent fast. Lumix LUT. I think that'd make a good t-shirt. Okay, I'm giving LUT now. I've run out of puns. And let me show you how the camera processes these in camera, because there's a little bit of a processing delay in the Fujifilm and it is instant on the Lumix S9. So what is my preference? Well, had I had these cameras in the opposite direction and had the Fujifilm X105 first, I think I would have definitely fallen in love with it. But the S9 does everything that does and more, in my opinion, and I do prefer that it's interchangeable lens rather than stuck at around a 35mm full frame equivalent. However, that's not to bash Fujifilm at all. Whenever I see a set of recipe images on social media, I'm like, oh, that's so inspiring. I want to go and grab my camera and give it a go myself. However, I think my style is beyond the film look. I love experimenting with film. I've done plenty of videos about the film look. But sometimes my style is not filmic at all. Like when I'm out at night, for example, I might want to experiment with some orange and teal or something a little bit cyberpunky. And you just can't emulate stuff like that via Fujifilm recipes. If you want to put cinematic LUTs over your video footage in camera, the recipes probably are not the best place to start for that. I'm not saying you can't get good results, but I'm saying you can get much more flexible results using LUTs, because that's what you would do in the computer when you edit traditionally. I just want to rave about the new Real Time LUT features in the new S9. And I just hope that its stuffy little name doesn't get in the way of showcasing how fantastic this feature is for photographers and videographers, for content creators and anyone who just likes to streamline their work process a little bit more.